Okay. Good morning. Listen, I don't plan on doing a video every single day. I know it seems like it, but I'm doing it because I know people are watching this saga I'm going through with the bumper, which I'm nailing it here. I'm going to insert a couple little videos I shot towards the end of the day yesterday with what I found. I mean, I could fit a whole 5-gallon jerry can inside that box right there, right? With a tool bag and still have room for everything else, which blew my mind. And then it started raining in the afternoon, so I had to go home. I didn't get a chance to clean the shop, which I'm going to do right now. I did an experiment. I left the tool bag in there last night, and I put stuff back inside the bumper, and I wrapped it in a plastic bag. So I want to set up the tripod, open these things up, and see what happened with water, because I know water got inside that bumper again, but that stuff should have been protected. By the way, I've got these two panels here that were on the back Dutch doors for the Astrovan. If you're in Los Angeles and you're interested in these things, they're not pristine, they're not perfect. These things will come out, but I have them. You can JB weld those back in place. I've done it on my car door panels. It worked out fine. But if you're interested in those things, let me know. You can swing by and grab them. I was going to sell them at one point to help fund, all the work I do on this, but I just like to get them out of here before I ruin them. I have some other plastic bits too. If you got a factory interior and you're trying to keep that. Let me do this and get back to work. Hang on. All right. Oh, and yes, I've been wearing the same trousers for like 5 days. Single guy. Let's open this up first. Of course, I got to get the key. I'm so pro. Always looks like I got bedhead too, doesn't it? And I look balder on camera than I seem to look in real life. I don't know what that's about. Maybe I just locked it and I had it unlocked all night. How about that? All right. No water in here. That's very good because I've got these two holes that I need to plug up. So I'm stoked about that. Yeah. Nice. Mental note, remember to lock the friggin' thing. Okay. Somebody asked about these. Give me suggestions of where to stop them. They stop automatically. That's as far as this will open. And then there's a pin here where I can basically put the pin in at that spot. It doesn't open up much more than that. It naturally has a stop built into it, just the design of it. How far extra did that go? Like it was another ½ inch or something. I gotta do something with that. Okay, there's water in here, right on top of the bag. Did not get into the bag. So this is kind of your moment for the day here. Oh, nice. Yep, it's all dry. So if you've got stuff that you store in your rear bumper and you don't want it to get wet, there's your tip for the day here. I'll get the air out of the bag before you can spin this around here. So for all you other overlanders, so I'm going to live with that until I decide to do anything else with this, because that's an easy fix. It doesn't eat up any more time. I'm going to get back to work now. I just talked with my client Samantha. For those of you following along with everything, I did that floating desktop, and we did it at bar height, which is what she wanted. And the way I designed that thing is, I mean, it's perfect. There's less than an eighth inch of space if I was to slide it to one side, you know, of a gap. Because you need that little bit of space so you can slide it in. She wants me to lower it for her kids, so you can sit at regular table height, which was not the original design. However, she wants me to leave the rails at the other height, which means I don't have to fix it and paint it, because she likes the idea of being able to slide that out and make it higher if she's having a party and she wants to use that area as a bar. And there's a whole litany of things I still have to do over there, and I feel my face do that. Litany of things. I feel like, you guys remember Warren Oates? Yeah, he would talk and he would enunciate properly. I feel like for some reason I have flashes of Warren Oates in my head sometimes when I feel my facial expression do things. I'm a friggin' weirdo. Oh, and one last thing here before I get back to work and show you some things at the end of the video. A company contacted me. I was doing emails with them this morning. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but it's seeming like it's going to happen. And I've said no to a lot of products. I've accepted a couple things. I did take a new replacement light bar for the front, which I told them I'm not going to get it done until I find the time for that. And they were incessantly bugging me about it. And I finally just said, I'll send it back to you. I don't need the thing. Your first one is broken. That's why you sent me the replacement. And they also sent me these little pod lights. And I said when I get to it, I'll do it, and I'll do a video on it, and it'll be a good video. But for me to do that, I got to take the boards off the deck, I got to drill a hole in the roof, I got to put a gland in, I got to run all those wires and figure out the switch. That's like this, what this friggin' thing became, right? Thanks, Phil, for the bumper. But I mean, honestly, I counted the videos. I think there's 8 videos already on this bumper. Each one of those videos is a day of time, basically. That's time that I was working on this instead of working on things that are paying me. I'm not complaining about that. I'm very grateful for it. It's badass and it's going to be awesome. Phil Fortuna, Oceanside Painting, Ocean County, New Jersey. If you need a painter, call him up. He's a great dude. I owe him too. So I'm making him a box insert for his door, one of those kitchens like I have. His is going to be better than mine. So this company is called IceCo, and they sent me a thing about, they have a new portable solar generator, and of course everybody knows they make a really good quality refrigerator. So we'll see. They're talking about it, and if I do it, they'd like me if I can make it to the Expo West again in Flagstaff this year. And if I could do that, it'd be neat to get the van inside Expo West. You know, if I have enough time between now and then to dial it in a little bit better. But I think a lot of people would get a kick out of this van with all the custom stuff. And you know, I'll have some cardboard under it in case people want to get underneath and look at the chassis, especially with the engine lift brackets that Dave's been making. And you know, I'm not that full of myself, but I think it's a pretty safe statement that I'm about to make. That this is probably one of the most recognized Astro vans out there in the overlanding or 4x4 or all-wheel drive Astro van world. I didn't set out to make that happen for some sort of pat on the back or anything. I did it because I love this thing, and again, just to reiterate why I have this particular vehicle, it's because I live in the city. I live in Los Angeles, and as big as this thing may look to some people when you're looking at it on a picture or you see me standing next to it, it's just an Astro van. It fits in every single parking space, the compact spaces, although this is going to be an issue now, I'm sure. But it's easy to park, it's easy to parallel park. And another note just on the fuel economy, everything's fine. It's actually gotten much better. I don't know what's going on. I think that's just the computer, the way that's been working. But the main thing that was unexpected with the 32, I'm calling them 32-inch tires. They are these Wild Peaks LT 235/85 R16. They're calling them pizza cutters because they're narrower, which is a smart move on this van. If you're going with a wide tire, you're going to have all kinds of issues with clearance and everything else, but also when you go off-road and you deflate your tires, fat tires widen, these tires lengthen, so it's more like a tank track. So these are way better off-road. And my point here is that even though I'm making it far more robust, and you've seen it, able to handle off-road, and I'm going to throw you another one here, you're never going to get the friggin' work. What you guys don't know, unless I've spoken to you about this directly, the YouTube video that Sarah did and I did, Wonder Hussy, on the Steel Pass, that was like 9 months ago, coming up on a year here. This is a crazy thing that happened, and I didn't you guys know what happened if you've been following along with the rear end and everything, but just so you understand, when I was coming in on the South Pass, it was like 6 or 7 hours of coming in on that. Probably about halfway through that, when I was still doing water crossings, I started hearing this squealing on this rear brake here, and I thought it was just a rock in the caliper or something, or you know, in the pad there. And I eventually got to the Saline, camped out, had a great time. We did Steel Pass, and it was making that noise. And I drove all the way back to LA and everything else, and it turns out, as you guys know, if you've been watching, the C-clip on the axle on this side, there was too much slop in there with the posi traction unit, and it fell out and was sitting in the differential. That happened on my way into Saline. So I did all of South Pass, at least half of it, to Saline and out on Steel Pass, and the only thing holding my rear wheel and axle in place was the brake caliper. Hoopers, rear ends, never go there. And so you guys know that whole saga. I won't go through the whole thing again. So now it's dialed. I got new axles, I got another posi traction unit and everything else. So now it's actually set. But the fact that this van did what it did, and you saw it in those videos, and maybe I'll remember to put the links to those videos in the description of this video, that's mind-blowing, man. It's mind-blowing. Because thank God that wheel didn't just fall out of there with the axle while I was out in the middle of nowhere. Can you imagine? This van would still be there right now. Like, people would be camping out in it whenever they drove past it. I'm not a religious guy. I believe in God and all that, but I have a different take on it. But I like to say the universe a lot because it's easier for some people to accept. But the universe wants me to be a success with this van because ever since I saw one and I decided I wanted one, and then the only way I got one is because my first van got stolen. The 2005 cargo van I had, 2-wheel drive, it was stolen, and which afforded me the opportunity to find one of these. And when I got it, I thought to myself, how am I ever going to come up with the coin, to lift it and make it a 4x4? I had a friend help me with that actually, and paid him back, did some work for him, and everything else I've done. I mean, it's getting pretty well done. It's taken years, but now it's here. I never would have expected any of this. And I think a big part of it was, I would have done this without YouTube, but I think the YouTube and the YouTube community and you, my subscribers and followers and watchers and all that, are a huge thing because I'm constantly trying to answer your questions and figure stuff out. So you guys have been kind of like a kick in the ass to facilitate this. So I owe you more thanks than you realize. Thank you. If it wasn't for you, it might have taken another 4 years to get to this point. But at the same time, it's funny because I want to entertain you guys. It does make me do all these other things, but kind of distracts me probably from things I should be doing. So I don't know if I love you or hate. It's a love-hate relationship at this point. Kind of how you feel about me. All right, I'm getting back to work. Hope you enjoyed this. I can't shut up sometimes. Stick around. It's not over. Hey, by the way, anybody in the LA area know where I might be able to bring these catalytic converters that I pulled off my van? These are the factory originals, to maybe make some money out of them. I've been told you could do that. Let me know. All right, so I packed this thing to the gills on purpose, just for the hell of it. Call my guy George Caruso. He owns a company called Extreme Outback Products. I mentioned him before. If you guys are looking for the best compressor system to inflate your tires, you can't get better. It's military grade stuff. George seems to think you shouldn't put more than 80 pounds of gear in this box, which is weird to me because that is not a lot of weight. And this, I mean, look at the size of this box compared to me, right? I think this thing could handle 200 pounds. Now, it's not just about the weight in the box. I understand that. That's about how the van works and when you're off-road and all that stuff. But, I mean, you see the whole van moving, right? Now, when I undo this here, I'm getting no flex in any of the swing away or anything. And if I open this all the way and I try to push on this, I'm not getting a separation here at the sheet metal. It'll bend everything a little bit, but not bad. Of course, you shouldn't be doing that. So this is my weight on it, which is almost 200 pounds right there, which it shouldn't be. I need to lose some serious weight here. But yeah, I mean, nothing's, so I kind of feel okay with it. I'm going to show you what I put in there, and I'm not saying this stuff is going to be in there all the time. But it's a little crazy. It's a little crazy. It's a little crazy. I know it. And I'll just tell you what's in here at the moment, okay? And again, not saying that this is all going to be in here all the time. But the gas can is empty. I did look this up. 5 gallons is 30 pounds. This tool bag, which is typically inside the van, is, I'm guessing that's like 60 to 70 pounds. Because I can curl 50 pounds, and it's hard. So I'm guessing that. I should get a scale, and then I'd know. But I'm going to say, if this was full, plus this, let's just say that's 100 pounds. I'm sure it's less than that, but let's just say that's 100 pounds. I got my Smittybilt compressor, which probably weighs about 10 pounds or less. I got a hydraulic jack, you know, those, I forget what they're called. I got my torque wrench in here. I got fluids and hardware up here, and another bottle jack. That's what that is up there. This stuff doesn't weigh that much. I'm going to say 30 pounds of extra stuff. I think it's probably got about, when that's full, it would probably have about 130 pounds or less in it. Does that sound like it's too much? I did put the stuff in the bumper. I showed you that already. Real simple. All I did here was put some plywood up along there. I put a little silicone on it just to hold it. It'll dry and it'll stay tight to the wall. If I ever want to take it out, I could pry it off and skim that off. No big deal. Just a board resting here. I got this front on it. I've got 2 screws in that. You can see it's notched here. So if I pull the 2 screws, I can pull this out. No big deal. But all this stuff comes in and out. I've got my riv nut tool up there. Riv nuts, a lot of extra hardware. Pretty much everything I need. I mean, barring some other crazy thing that I haven't foreseen. But I could do a lot. Now, I don't want all this stuff in here. I'm going to get, you know, George is supposed to hook me up. We've been talking about it for months. With the compressor, it's going to mount under the vehicle. So this goes away. And I got a spot underneath the vehicle where I can carry an extra CV. And I want to put my metal detector in here. But I want to keep this relatively sparse. But I'm just showing you guys this just to see what you all think, okay? You know what this is? This is the thumbnail for the video. I'm crazy, right? Is this too much? If this is too much, you let me know. But I'm going for it, so we'll see how it goes. You know, I've been driving it around. I haven't driven around since I put all this in it. We'll see what the ride home is like. and you know, take it from there. I don't know. Just so you understand, the tubing is all 2-inch. It's 2-inch thick aluminum, and we've got 4 points of contact where it's mounted to the frame. Well, whatever. You know what I'm saying. It's not really a frame there, but the frame rails underneath this cab here. It's unibody construction. But we've got the 2 big ones and the 2 corner ones. It's all hard bolted. I don't know. I'm putting it out there for you. Dave's got an 8-inch disc for me. He's going to bring by tomorrow. Tomorrow, I guess I'll be doing a video tomorrow. You guys are going to see something kind of neat. I mentioned it before. That street artist friend of mine, Sabo's in town. He's going to swing by here tomorrow afternoon, and Dave's going to be bringing him the traps, these big heart-shaped traps. So probably going to shoot that, and I'll show that to you, and it's going to be pretty cool. And I haven't seen Sabo in person in a while, so that's going to be cool for me. And again, Dave's going to have this 8-inch disc for me. I'll need to get a large chamfer so I can do these bolts again. But in a couple days I'll have this correct, and I'll have the tire up there. But tomorrow, I kind of cleaned up the shop today. It's a good enough spot. So tomorrow I'll be doing some woodworking. I'll be working on walnut when they get here tomorrow for that table. So that's what's happening. As I said earlier in the video, I never plan on doing a video every day, man, but it's because of you. It's because of the comments you're asking. So this is the process I'm going through right now. I believe this is video number 9 on this now, on this bumper. That represents pretty much 9 days of my time trying to make this bumper work. So something to be aware of. I'm going to be talking to a lady in a little bit here. She contacted me on Instagram. It sounds like she got an all-wheel drive Astro van. She's been putting money into it. She's not sure she wants to keep doing it, and she wanted to ask me. She said, "Can you give me a list of what I should be looking out for?" I said, "Here's my phone number." I'll talk to you about it after work, man. Because it's what I always say to you guys. If you buy one of these Astro vans, you're buying an old vehicle. It's already going to be 20 years old, 19 to 20 years old at the newest. You don't know the condition it's in when you get it necessarily from the person you're buying it from, what it's been through and everything else. It's going to need to have things replaced. If you don't have the aptitude for it, if you don't have the place to work on it, the tools and everything else to do the work yourself, then you got to understand you're going to be paying somebody else to do that work. And everybody does it differently. A lot of you out there do the bare minimum to get it running. You think it's pretty good. You don't care if the engine's sweating oil somewhere or leaking a little bit or anything else. You do your builds, you put all the stuff in it, you go out and start adventuring. That scares the hell out of me personally. My build isn't done because I mechanically dialed this thing pretty stinking well. Right now, you know, this is all going to be wonky here. My next thing is I'll probably end up spending $1,000 on springs. I'm going to get a tall leaf pack for this that's dialed correct for the suspension to handle all the extra weight on the back of this truck and be able to go off-road with it and have it handled correct. Once I do that, I'm pretty much done. I'll do the CV thing. I'll get that sorted. Hopefully that'll work out. I still have to talk to those guys, but as you know, I've been busy. But I'll get that done as soon as I can. And then I'm pretty much done with this thing, other than we'll see how long this engine lasts. Right? When the time comes for that, hopefully I'll be flush enough to either put another 4.3 in or maybe do an LS swap or put a V8 in it. That's where my brain is at. And that's not going to be cheap, right? So, at any rate, I'm going to let you guys go. You can let me know what you think. Just be nice to me because I'm sensitive. Have a good day. Be kind to one another. I'll catch you in the next one.